Hello everyone and welcome to Blog Runner Everything and welcome back to the channel and welcome to what is going to be something like a match preview for El Clasico that's coming up this Thursday night from Santiago Bernabeu. Of course, you know, Real Madrid taking on Barcelona in the semi-final of the Copa del Rey, and there's been quite a few developments in the FC Barcelona camp and they're not of the positive variety, okay? First off, if you're new here, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for clicking on this video. Hope you like what you're seeing so far. If you do, then please at any point feel free to hit like on the video. Also hit subscribe. And if you're listening from the podcast, do the same as well. As far as subscribing is concerned, we will very much appreciate you joining this community. Okay then, on to FC Barcelona and the very worrying news that has emerged. So, on Monday night, it was announced that FC Barcelona's squad has suffered yet another injury setback in the form of Robert Lewandowski. So, I'm going to read to you from Barcelona's announcement on their website, and it said Robert Lewandowski has strained a bicep femoris in his left hamstring. The Polish striker isn't available until the problem clears up. So, what exactly does this mean? Well, FC Barcelona now are going to have to go into that El Clasico without the services of Ousmane Dembele, Pedri and Robert Lewandowski in as far as, you know, their attackers go. Their defenders, it's thought that Araujo has been struggling with a bit of fatigue around that area, you know, on his knee where he had the operation. But so far, all things are indicating that he'll be able to start on Thursday night, so hopefully we don't suffer yet another strain in this upcoming game, because guess what, on Sunday night FC Barcelona are playing host to Valencia, and Valencia right now, though they are in the relegation zone, are going to be a very tough test for FC Barcelona, especially since Barca will not only have to do without the services of the aforementioned Pedri, Lewandowski and Dembele, but also Gavi is going to be suspended for that match against Valencia, and so Xavi Hernandez, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that match is going to play out as well. Looking forward, that is. But looking at what's up ahead, looking at what's coming next with El Clasico, there's really just one question that Xavi Hernandez has to answer, and I think it's a question which he probably ran away from answering a couple weeks ago when Pedri went down with his injury, and that is, do you reintroduce the 4-3-3 and put that 4 midfielder system, you know, that 4-4-2/3-5-2 kind of formation that he's been working with? Do you put that on the shelf now and instead look to play with the 4-3-3? Now, I said that he ran away from answering this question when Pedri went down with the injury, because personally I think he should have brought back the 4-3-3 back then, and he would have been able to at least play with a system that would supply Lewandowski with more chances. The problem with that 4 midfielder system without Pedri and Ousmane Dembele in it is that there's really just nobody there who can supply Robert Lewandowski and Gavi with the type of passes in between the lines or crosses from the wings that they need to be able to affect the game. Remember, Gavi likes to receive the ball between the lines, and to be able to get the ball in that position, you need somebody who can thread the ball into those areas like Pedri does. And the same goes as well for Lewandowski, throwing in Ousmane Dembele as well, who does know how to pick those passes out into those congested areas and also how to put in a decent cross every now and then. So, without those players, I think Xavi Hernandez should revert to a 4-3-3. Of course, now it's a bit challenging to say exactly what that 4-3-3 will look like. Ansu Fati is going to be back on Thursday night, but do you start with Fati, Ferran and Rafinha? In which case, who plays down the right, who plays down the middle? We all know Ansu Fati does not like to play down the middle, so I hope for his own sake, Xavi plays him down the left and Ferran through the middle with Rafinha on the right, where really it's the only place that you could even consider playing Rafinha. Anywho, we also have one or two things to think about when it comes to that midfield for Xavi Hernandez, because the question is, do you bench Kessie or do you bench Busquets? If you bench Kessie, you're going to probably lose the physical duels in midfield because Busquets isn't going to be able to compete maybe to the same level as a Valverde or a Ceballos or a Camavinga or a Tchouaméni, who is going to be back in this tie. Whereas again, if you go with Kessie, then you are giving up a bit of control in that midfield because he's not going to be able to pick those passes first time like Busquets would. So in that midfield area, there are a lot of questions for Xavi Hernandez to find the answers to, something which I don't doubt that he can do, because let's not forget when he won 4-0 at the Santiago Bernabeu, he did it whilst fielding something of a makeshift kind of team even though it was at least known which players would play which roles, it wasn't exactly an all-star 11 that he went with there, right? And remember, Gavi didn't even start in that match, but this time around, definitely going to start. And as for the back four, he had better not play Alonso or Jordi Alba or Sergio Roberto in that back four. That's all I'm going to say on what Barcelona's defensive setup should look like on Thursday night, including of course Marc and Ter Stegen in goals. So as for what kind of a game to expect here, I expect FC Barcelona to really be put under a lot of pressure early on in this encounter, so we could see Real Madrid playing a lot livelier than we did see them do in the Super Copa final against FC Barcelona, where they looked a bit timid, a bit sluggish. And similarly, we should see FC Barcelona looking to exploit some of the spaces behind Real Madrid, because their best bet to get anything on the score sheet is going to be to try and play balls over the top for Ferran, for Fati, or for Rafinha to get on the end of. And I beg that Xavi does not play with 4 midfielders. Anywho, that is basically that, ladies and gentlemen, as far as a preview goes for that El Clasico. I will of course talk to you after the match just to give my thoughts and that kind of stuff. But otherwise, thank you for tuning in. Have a great day and Forza Barça.